Welcome to the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I'm so excited that you're here. The Plan B CRNA podcast is the only show made specifically for nurse anesthetists who are exploring options outside of their traditional career paths. This is the place to expand your mind and your goals as we uncover new ways to produce side income together. The mindset that we bring to any situation plays a key part in overcoming challenges and really enjoying our unique paths in life. On Thoughtful Thursdays, I like to explore emotional topics that are relevant to CRNAs and other providers. I think of this as my therapy, and I hope you learn some tips and tricks that you can use along your own journey. This episode is brought to you by On-Call Capital. On-Call Capital is dedicated to educating CRNAs and other healthcare providers about investing outside of the traditional stock market. On-Call Capital also provides opportunities for you, yes you, to create passive income and generational wealth while also lowering your taxable income through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do that right now so that you don't miss an episode. Thanks so much for joining me today, and now on with the show. Welcome to Thoughtful Thursdays on the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and as always, I like to start these episodes off with a quote that gets me thinking. But first, I need to provide some context, because I really want to go see the movie Creed 3 in the theaters. Now, I'd never seen the previous two Creed films, and I'd never even watched all of the other Rocky movies that are out there, so I decided to fix that. And now I've watched all 8 of them. And let me tell you, these are some powerful movies, even now. So, in the 2006 film, Rocky Balboa, Rocky is talking to his adult son when he says, "Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It is a very mean and nasty place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you are because of him or her or nobody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that." Now, I resisted the temptation to do my own Rocky impression there, because when I hear that in my head, I'm just hearing Rocky saying it, and it's a very vibe, and I really enjoy it. But these films overall are really about facing and overcoming adversity, getting knocked down and picking yourself up off the mat. And yes, it's fictional, but that doesn't change the fact that adversity is a part of life. And while that can be difficult to face, it's important to understand the benefits of fighting through it. When we face challenges, we have the opportunity to grow and learn and become stronger. We can develop resilience, perseverance, and a sense of accomplishment. You don't have to take it from a fictional character. There are stories throughout history of people fighting through struggles and defying the odds to do the unthinkable. Abraham Lincoln faced numerous setbacks and failures before becoming one of the greatest presidents in history. Oprah Winfrey overcame a difficult childhood to become one of the most successful media personalities in the world. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before someone took a chance on the Harry Potter series, which became one of the best-selling book series of all time. Nelson Mandela was in jail for 27 years due to political persecution, and he became one of the most beloved leaders in history. And the list goes on. Not everyone has the same hand of cards in the game of life, and we have to make the best with what we have. We see people in our everyday lives who are dealt a pretty crappy hand, and they still make it into something beautiful. And that's what makes the Rocky movies so relatable. We've grown up with true stories of how others overcame obstacles all around us on the way to success. And these movies put the path out there for others to follow. So how did Rocky do it? Well, first off, we should actually accept that difficulties are a part of life. This is easier said than done, as many of us just want to get to a point where life is easy, right? Rocky encounters numerous setbacks and obstacles throughout the series, throughout his life, but he never gives up. And we can learn from his perseverance and determination to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. On the other hand, if we give up in the face of adversity, we may miss out on opportunities. We may experience regret, and then we might struggle to achieve our goals. Now, number 2, we should seek guidance and support from mentors. Rocky has several mentors throughout the series, and his coach is one of them. One of his first opponents, Apollo Creed, whom he comes to respect, is another. And even his wife, Adrian, she's a big support in his life. They all help him improve his boxing skills and offer him valuable life advice. By surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can gain the support we need to overcome adversity. Number three, we should believe in ourselves and our own abilities. Rocky is clearly an underdog who defies the odds to become a champion. And he was only able to do that because he believed he could do it. By having faith in ourselves and our potential, we can achieve great things, even in the face of adversity. To paraphrase Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right. Number four, we should embrace change and be open to new opportunities. Rocky's life changes drastically throughout the series, but he remains adaptable and resilient in the face of these changes. He regularly gets knocked down, but he learns from his opponents. And then he's open and willing to try new techniques in order to beat them. By being open to new experiences and opportunities, we can learn and grow from the adversity in our own lives. Number five, we shouldn't just give up if the odds are against us. Rocky's famous quote, "It ain't over till it's over," emphasizes the importance of perseverance and never giving up, even when things seem impossible in the moment. And of course, this isn't absolute. There are times when you throw in the towel, but sometimes you have to be willing to push yourself farther than you think you could go, too. And number six, lastly, maintain a positive attitude. I don't mean unrealistic pie in the sky here, but it's easy to become negative and focus on the obstacles in front of us when those tough times come. The moments when Rocky struggled the most in the movies were when he became negative about his own situation. But by maintaining a more positive attitude, we can approach the situation with a growth mindset and focus on solutions rather than problems. Now, there are plenty of reasons why these films were so successful. The underdog stories inspire us to achieve greater things than we ever thought possible. And these are just a few of the many lessons we can learn from the Rocky franchise about fighting through adversity. By embracing these lessons, we unlock the door to personal growth by becoming more resilient, determined, and successful individuals. And that's not such a bad way to live. As always, I have additional links in the show notes, so check it out if you want more info on fighting through tough times. And there are far more books out there than I can count that detail real people overcoming extraordinary challenges in their lives. So I'll just tell you to Google Fighting Through Adversity books. And that's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you check out the show notes for helpful links. And, hey, if you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. I'd love to hear what you thought. So make sure you put that in your review of the show. And if you're interested in passive income opportunities with tax-advantaged real estate, visit my website at www.oncallinvestments.com or reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Until next time, be safe and take care of each other out there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you haven't already subscribed and reviewed the show, I'd be honored if you took the extra time. It really helps to expand our reach and get the word out about the show. If you're a CRNA who is interested in sharing your story on our podcast, I'd love to have you. Please email me at bobby@oncallinvestments.com for more information. This episode was brought to you by On-Call Capital. They are dedicated to helping providers like you develop passive income and generational wealth through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. Feel free to check out their website at www.oncallinvestments.com and subscribe to their free educational email series. You can find On-Call Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page, where you'll find all of the show episodes along with other educational videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.